Guys, welcome back to my channel. How is everybody doing today? Hopefully everybody is doing well. Well, as you can see, guys, I got a little bit of a different setup today. I'm going for kind of a noir look. I got my noir type lamp, just a Tiffany lamp. Don't even know if it's really noir, but it's a little bit more noir looking than the lamp that I would normally had sitting here. Kind of switch things over so we can get the lamp in, shooting this in black and white. Just trying to give it kind of a noir feel. I don't know if it's succeeding, if it is, if not, whatever, it's fine. Tape's rolling, so we're gonna keep on going. Well, guys, it is November, which means it is Noir-vember, which means that they are celebrating noir films, neo-noir films, anything that is like a film type noir. And also it's November, so of course that means the Barnes & Noble 50% off Criterion sale. So I figured this is a perfect time to do a Criterion recommendation video. I've done multiple Criterion recommendation videos in the past and Scream Factory recommendations, all different kind of recommendations. But this time I am going to stick to just films that are film noirs, neo-noirs, and even some films that might not even be classified as 100% noirs, but definitely have noir type qualities to them. So I even threw some of those in here, but most of these you might consider all of our film noirs or neo-noirs. So that's what we're going to do. I got quite a few of them. I'm just going to tell you the film. I'll give you a quick synopsis of what the film is about, and then you guys can make a decision for yourself, whether you think it's something that you might be interested in picking up. I don't want to spend a lot of time. I want to spend very little time on each one of these films because I have quite a few, and I don't want this video to be like 3 hours long. So I think I got maybe 15 movies and 2 box sets. So with all that being said, guys, let's delve into these and see if it's something that you guys might want to pick up during this sale. The first film we're going to talk about is very, very well known. It is a very well-known film noir, and it's from Billy Wilder. It stars Fred MacMurray, Barbara Stanwyck, and Edward G. Robinson, and that is Billy Wilder's Double Indemnity. This I have the 4K edition here. This movie is absolutely fantastic. I saw it for the first time many, many, many years ago. I thought it was fantastic. And just a quick little synopsis of this film. What it's about is you got Fred MacMurray and Barbara Stanwyck here. He's an insurance salesman. She's a married woman who's not happy in her relationship. He shows up to the house one day to sell insurance, but those two end up becoming lovers and decide that they're going to plan a murder and make it look like an accident so that they can claim the life insurance policy money under the double indemnity clause. This movie is awesome. Definitely check it out. It's fantastic. Dialogue's great. Everything is great. Next up, we have a movie by Carl Reed called The Odd Man Out. Now, Carl Reed also did another film noir that's just even better than this film called The Third Man, which unfortunately is out of print in the Criterion collection and goes for ridiculously high prices. So I did not even include this in the list because you can't even get it right now unless you buy it off eBay or something. But this movie is really good too. It stars James Mason, and he plays an ex-con who does a robbery. It goes south, and he ends up hiding out in the shadowy back alleys of a town while trying to escape from police. This movie is super good too. If you like The Third Man, you'll like this movie as well. The next movie we have is a movie directed by Bill Duke. It's more of a neo-noir. It's Deep Cover, stars Lawrence Fishburne and Jeff Goldblum. Lawrence Fishburne plays a detective who has to go undercover in Los Angeles into a drug ring and kind of becomes a cocaine dealer's right-hand man, played by Jeff Goldblum. And his whole point is basically just to take down a drug cartel in Los Angeles. This movie is very stylish. It's very moody. It's awesome. Definitely pick it up. This is a fairly new release from Criterion. I highly recommend it. The next movie is a film that stars and is directed by Robert Montgomery called Ride the Pink Horse. This movie is really good. He plays a former GI who shows up at a New Mexico town, and he's there to rough up a gangster that killed his best friend. This movie is really good. This was one that I went in, I'd never heard of, I'd never seen. Complete blind buy, complete blind watch. I watched it and I was pleasantly surprised at how good this movie actually was. definitely check out Ride the Pink Horse. Great movie. Next up, we have a film that is some Japanese noir by Akira Kurosawa, and that's High and Low. As you can see, I haven't even taken the wrapping out of this. I've had this one for a while. I've seen this movie 2 or 3 times, so I just haven't watched it recently. And this movie is really, really good, and it's about an industrialist whose chauffeur accidentally gets kidnapped and held for ransom, and he has to make a moral decision on whether he's going to pay the ransom for his chauffeur's son, who is mistakenly, they originally intend to kidnap his son, but accidentally steal his chauffeur's son. So he has a moral dilemma on whether he pays the money to get the son back, which would pretty much financially ruin him, if I remember correctly. It's been a while since I've seen this, but I do remember that the few times I have seen this movie, I loved it every time. Definitely check this one out. Akira Kurosawa, check out any of his work. But this is one of his more modern-day movies, and it's more of a noir. Very good film. Next up is a very popular film. It's a John Huston film and stars, I believe, Sterling Hayden. I think it stars Sterling Hayden. Called The Asphalt Jungle. I'm sure most of you have heard of this movie. It's a very popular film noir. And this is Sterling Hayden plays an ex-con who does a jewel heist. And it becomes successful, but then everybody who was involved, the greed gets the best of them, and things don't end up planning out or working out the way that they probably should, as a lot of jewel heist movies tend to do. This one is definitely good. John Huston in general is a great director. Check out, he's got quite a few movies in the collection. Well, not quite a few, but a few that are definitely worth your time, and this one is definitely one of those. Next up is a movie that I just watched for the first time the other day. I bought this a few sales ago, but I just got around to watching it now. And it's directed by Nicholas Ray, and it stars Humphrey Bogart. And it's called In a Lonely Place. And Humphrey Bogart basically gets accused of murder. He plays a washed-up screenwriter, and he's accused of murder. And the only person that can vouch for his alibi kind of has a shady past of her own that she's kind of trying to escape from. This movie is very good too. This was a nice surprise. Humphrey Bogart's always good, and this movie's no exception. Next up, we have a movie. Now, this movie I have seen multiple times, and it is still to this day my all-time favorite movie by these directors. And not that it's their best film, but it is my personal favorite because it was their first film, and it is such an impressive first outing that I just absolutely love it. And I'm talking about Joel and Ethan Coen's Blood Simple. This movie is fantastic, and the basic plot of this, I'll just delve very quickly. It stars oh my goodness, what is her name? Frances McDormand, who is also married to Joel Coen. And I think this is one of her first performances. It might even be her first film. And what this movie is about it's about a sleazy bar owner who is married to Frances McDormand, and he's convinced that she's cheating on him with the bartender. So he hires a private investigator to look into the situation. Well, the private investigator is a little sleazy himself and has his own plans and kind of flips the script, and things go, batshit crazy. This movie's fantastic. Do yourself a favor. If you're a Coen Brothers fan and you have not seen this, you need to make this your next movie to watch. This movie's awesome. Check it out. And speaking of the Coen Brothers, the next movie I have is also a Coen Brothers film. Now, I saw this film before I think I even knew who the Coen Brothers were, and that's Miller's Crossing. This movie is fantastic, and it's basically about gangsters during Prohibition. I mean, there's more to it than that, but we'll just leave it at that. We'll keep it simple. Gangsters during Prohibition. This movie is fantastic. It has John Turturro, Gabriel Byrne, Albert Finney. This movie's great. Definitely check it out. Great soundtrack, too. Next movie we have, I believe, is a French film, and I think I'm saying it right. It's Diabolique. This is more of a noir thriller, and basically there's 2 women who work at this boys' home, and they decide to murder the very sinister head of the boys' home. And so they murder this man who's the head of this boys' home, bury him in the pool, and unexpectedly, not that long after they put him down in the bottom of this mucky old pool that you can't see the bottom, somebody decides that they're going to drain the pool and, like, you know, either, you know, kind of fix it up or whatever, and they drain the pool, and the body mysteriously disappears. This movie is great, extremely suspenseful. It has all the suspense that you're going to find from, like, a Hitchcock film. So if you're a fan of Hitchcock, definitely check out Diabolique. Next up, we're going to delve into a very early Stanley Kubrick film starring Sterling Hayden, and that is The Killing. And this movie is about robbing a racetrack, a horse track, and it doesn't go well. We'll just leave it like that. This movie is fantastic. Has Sterling Hayden as well. Check it out. It's awesome. Very, very good early Stanley Kubrick. Next, we're going to delve into the two box sets I have. These are, what do they call these? The Eclipse series sets. And the first one is Nikatsu Noir, I believe is how you say it. This box set is awesome. Unfortunately, they only release these in DVD. They don't release too many anymore. I mean, they still do some new ones from time to time, but this one is fantastic. It's a bunch of Japanese noirs. It's very good. Most of them, I believe, I haven't seen them all, but most of them, I believe, are all crime films. And the standout one, in my opinion, was A Cult Is My Passport. That film is awesome, and it's very cool. They each have their own individual little cases and stuff. And in fact, I just happened to pull it out. A Cult Is My Passport. This was the highlight film, in my opinion, of this entire set. These are really cool. I think they usually go for around like 50 or 60 bucks. So on the sale, you can normally get them usually for like 30. This was one I was just a complete blind buy. And I've seen, I think, 2 or 3 of the films in there, and I was impressed with everyone that I've seen so far, especially A Cult Is My Passport. Awesome movie. Definitely check it out. These Eclipse sets are very, very, very cool. Next up is another Eclipse set, and it's Basil Dearden's London Underground. I've only seen, actually, to be honest with you, the only film, I think I only saw one in here. I might have saw League of Gentlemen. I can't remember. But the only film I watched was All Night Long, and I was so impressed with that. Sapphire is the film in here that I think they would consider, like, one of the more noirish type films. But everyone that I've heard from other people, everyone in here is very noirish. Like I said, I think I saw League of Gentlemen. I can't remember, but I did see All Night Long, and I was extremely impressed with All Night Long. It was very stylish, great cinematography, awesome jazz soundtrack. It was definitely worth my time, and I think it'll definitely be worth yours too. And I'm assuming this whole box set is too. Like I said, I've only seen like 1 or 2, but I was very, very impressed. At least the one that I remember the most was All Night Long. Super good. Very definitely has kind of a noirish type feel to it. Wouldn't say it's a straight noir, but definitely has elements of film noir. Next up, we have a French noir film called, I think it's Le Cercle Rouge. Well, in English, it's The Red Circle. And it's a film by Jean-Pierre Melville. Jean-Pierre Melville. He has some great films. Here, let me show you the front cover. He has a few other films that are considered probably film noirs in the collection. Unfortunately, well, this one just got a 4K release, but unfortunately, a lot of the ones that have got released have gone out of print. But he has some fantastic films. And this movie is about an ex-con who gets a couple of people together to do a jewel heist. And everything's going as planned until, like, a relentless cop, or what do they call it, inspector, I guess, is on their trail, and their own past start to catch up with them, making things kind of go awry and not go as planned, as most, like I said before, as most jewel heist movies tend to do. This movie is great. Check out more of Melville's work. He has some good stuff. There are some other boutique companies that carry some of his other films, so definitely get a chance. If you get a chance, check it out. He's got some good stuff. This one is no exception either. Next up, we have a film that I believe is also another French film, and that is Elevator to the Gallows. This movie also stars, or doesn't star, but has the soundtrack of Miles Davis, who I'm not sure if he was very well known at this time when this movie came out. But he does the whole soundtrack. And this movie is about two lovers who, after the planned murder of the woman's husband goes awry, it sets off a series of events that basically seals their fates. This movie is really good too. I've only seen this once and it's been a while. I remember enjoying it. I remember liking the cinematography and the acting, the plot in general, and the soundtrack. And I've always liked the name, Elevator to the Gallows. Yeah, definitely check this one out. This one is pretty good. Like I said, I'm going to probably rewatch it again because I've only seen it once. All right, guys, well, we're down to the last two films. And the next one is Samuel Fuller's Pickup on South Street. And this is about a three-time convicted felon he's like a thief. He does a pickpocket to an unexpected person, and the guy who does the pickpocketing also gets a little more than he expected when he finds out that what he took was some secret U.S. government, it's like microfilm that's got some secret U.S. information on it, and the greed gets the best of him when he's trying to market, well, how much money can I get for this and that, and things don't really go all that well. Everything tends to unravel, but this movie is fantastic. I rewatched it about 6 months ago, and it's only the second time I'd seen it. I had forgotten how good this movie is. This would probably be one of my top recommendations of this entire list. This movie is fantastic. Definitely check it out, and it's short. Yeah, it's only 80 minutes. It's a very short running time. Excellent performances. So good. Definitely make this, if you're going to buy anything off this list, make this probably one of your first pickups. This movie's great. The last movie is a movie that people have told me for years and years and years to check out, and I hope it's still in print. It's been a while since I've seen this one in stores, so hopefully you can still get this. But it's a film that stars Burt Lancaster, Tony Curtis, and it is The Sweet Smell of Success, and I love that artwork as well. It's so cool. This movie is awesome. I saw this. This was a complete not a blind buy because people told me to watch it. But I knew nothing about it. People were just like, just see it. Get Sweet Smells of Success and watch it. And I'm so glad I did because this movie is awesome. And basically what this movie is about is Burt Lancaster plays I'll read it right off the back here, a vicious Broadway gossip columnist, and Tony Curtis plays an up-and-coming jazz musician who's dating the sister of Burt Lancaster. Well, Burt Lancaster doesn't really care for that. So through his powers of being a columnist, he basically tries to smear Tony Curtis's name and give him a bad reputation because he doesn't like the fact that he's dating his sister. And I love how they say it in the end. It says, Sweet Smell of Success is a crackling, cruel dispatch of the Kill or Be Killed wilds of 1950s Manhattan. This movie was one of the biggest surprises of any movie I've seen from Criterion. I watched it, my eyes were glued to the screen. It is fantastic performances, has a very, very cool jazz soundtrack, just a fantastic cinematography. This movie is so good. This would probably be, I don't know, it'd be top 3 of this entire list of checking out, of movies to check out or pick up. Like I said, I hope it's still in print. It's been a while since I bought this. I've had this for about 5 years or so, maybe even longer. So hopefully it's still in print because this is a definite must-have in your collection. Well, that's it, guys. That's all I got for this recommendation video. Hopefully it wasn't too long. I do tend to ramble on sometimes longer than I mean to. So hopefully this video wasn't too long. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you like this kind of noir stuff I've been doing over the last couple videos, please give this video a big thumbs up. Let me know you guys like what I'm doing. Like, share, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And I really appreciate you guys watching. Let me know, is there anything I missed? Is there any movies that I didn't talk about, that maybe I haven't seen, that I should be shooting to the top of my list, or that I should be picking up during this Criterion sale. Primarily just try to keep it to film noirs, because that's what this video is about. But yeah, guys, let me know in the comments below. I love talking about this stuff. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Like I said, I really appreciate it. I appreciate every one of you. Thank you so much, and I will see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.